You know that feeling when you want to learn a new programming language, but you just get lost in a sea of random tutorials? Well, today we're looking at a super precise day-by-day roadmap to get you skilled up in Dart in just over a month. And this isn't just a list of topics, it's a real plan for building skills and building them fast. So what's the secret sauce? It really all boils down to one simple rule. Okay, before we even look at a calendar, this is it. This is the single most important principle. The entire roadmap is built on this one idea. You're not just going to be watching videos or reading docs. Nope. Every single day, you are writing code. It's all about active, hands-on learning that forces you to actually understand the concepts, not just memorize them. And this is the magic number: 32 days. Now look, it's an intensive sprint for sure, but it also gives you a clear finish line. This structure is what gives you the discipline to go from the absolute basics all the way to advanced stuff like isolates and testing, and it all leads up to a final capstone project. So here's how we're going to break this whole journey down. Week 1 is all about building those foundations. Week 2 is where we start rewiring our brains to think in objects. Then in week 3, we master asynchronicity, and week 4 is all about getting you those pro skills that make you job ready. And then the final step, well, that's your turn to code.
All right, let's dive into week 1. It is all about building a solid foundation. You know, you can't build a skyscraper on shaky ground, right? Well, same thing goes for programming. This week is totally dedicated to mastering the core syntax and the big ideas of the Dart language.
So the week kicks off with the absolute basics on day 1. Variables, operators, the usual stuff. But check out how quickly it ramps up. By just day 4, you're already tackling Null Safety, which is a huge modern feature in Dart. Then day 6, you move beyond just writing code to actually using professional tools, which is a critical step. And it all wraps up with the day 8 checkpoint project, where you have to put it all together. And this right here, this is the engine that drives the whole roadmap. It's the daily learning loop. Every single day, you build a small project. Then you step back and you analyze your own code. You write down what you learned, the good and the bad. And at the end of the week, you go back and make it better. This cycle is what makes sure you're actively improving, not just passively learning. Okay, let's move on to week 2 and see how this thing builds. Once you have those fundamentals down, the focus totally shifts to a new way of thinking: object-oriented programming. This is the point where you stop just writing simple scripts and you start actually designing systems. On day 9, you're starting with the core building blocks, classes and constructors. But by day 11, you're already debating high-level design choices, like composition versus inheritance. Then you level up with generics for type-safe code on day 14, and you finish the week strong on day 16 by mastering immutable models, a really crucial pattern in modern development. And this illustrates one of those key professional mindsets that this roadmap teaches so well. Instead of creating these complex chains where a car is a vehicle, you learn to favor a more flexible approach where a car has an engine. This principle of preferring composition, man, it leads to code that is so much easier to maintain and adapt down the road. And here's the kicker, right? These aren't just abstract theories. Learning how to create immutable models with a copy with method on day 16, that directly prepares you for the most common state management patterns you're going to use in Flutter. You're learning the why behind the code, which totally sets you up for success. All right, week 3. This is where Dart it comes alive. We're diving deep into asynchronous programming, which is basically the art of handling tasks like network requests or reading files without freezing up your whole application. It's a huge deal. The progression here is just fantastic. You start with the fundamentals of async in Dart, futures, and that beautiful, clean async await syntax. From there, you get into the real power of streams, learn how to run multiple tasks in parallel, and finally, you unlock true heavy-duty concurrency with something called isolates. Let's just pause on streams for a second, because this concept is a total game changer. Don't think of it as getting data just one time. Think of it more like a pipe. Instead of a single package showing up at your door, you get this continuous flow of information over time, like user clicks, live data from a server, you name it. It's the key to building really reactive, modern apps. And sticking to the roadmap's philosophy, you don't just learn the theory, you immediately apply it. You're going to build a live logger project. This makes that abstract idea of a stream totally real and tangible. You can literally watch your code push new log messages through the stream in real time. That's how you really get it.
We've made it to the final week, the home stretch. The focus now is all about bridging that gap between being someone who can write some Dart code and being a developer who can ship production-ready applications. These are the pro-level skills.
And just look at these topics. Day 27, you're handling files and parsing JSON. The very next day, you're writing unit tests to make sure your code is reliable. Day 29 is all about organizing your code into reusable packages. This whole week is about discipline, structure, and quality, and it all leads up to that final capstone.
And here it is, the final boss, the asynchronous task manager. This isn't just another little project, it's a synthesis of everything you've learned. You're using isolates for heavy computation, streams to update the UI in real time, JSON to save your tasks, and the whole thing is backed up by unit tests. Finishing this project proves you don't just know Dart, you know how to build with it.
So, we've just walked through 4 weeks of intense project-based work. What's the real takeaway here? Well, the goal isn't just to teach you the syntax of Dart. The true lesson of a roadmap like this is about learning how to learn any complex skill and how to do it effectively. This roadmap gives you what so many aspiring developers are looking for, a clear, structured, and actionable plan. It just removes all the guesswork. By combining a logical progression of topics with that strict project-based philosophy, it creates this powerful system for getting a deep, practical skill in a really short amount of time. It really proves that it's not about magic. It's just about having the right map and the discipline to follow it. So the only question left is, what will you build?